Welcome to Season 2 of the Manchester United Career Mode. After failing to qualify for Europe last season, Erik Ten Hag has his work cut out for him to improve the squad's performances and bring in reinforcements to help this team qualify for the Champions League. The board is expecting him to finish comfortably in the top 4 this season, or else his job may be on the line. What is up, you guys? Mental Hog back here for, like I said, episode 2 of the Manchester United Career Mode. We're in Season 2. We need to qualify for the Champions League, or else we're going to be in big trouble. What's that? Oh, it's my phone. We're getting a call from the United Director of Football, David Harrison. What does he have to say? Since we failed to qualify for any European competitions, we're going to have to massively cut down on spending this season. All we've got in our transfer budget is 75 million euros. Also, we really need to cut down on squad size and salary expenditure, so much so that we may even have to sell one of our more valuable assets, particularly if the Champions League team comes knocking. So keep that in mind when you're planning out this season's squad.
Bruh.
Well, you heard it from him, guys. We have got a bombshell for this season. We have to sell so many players. We're going to have to clear out this freaking squad, and we might lose a big player this season. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one. I hope you guys like the new video format. If you do, let me know. Leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new around here, and leave a comment for suggestions for how I can improve either this video or other stuff you want to see. And with that, let's hop into the career mode. Ten Hag followed through on the board's request to sell players. The biggest that we cleared out were Harry Maguire. He went to Bayern. Also got rid of Alex Tellez. He went over to Dortmund. And we also sold Fred to Lille. And with all of that, Ten Hag was ready to begin his preseason. Or was he really? One day during preseason training, Erik Ten Hag is on his way out to his car when he gets a call from an unknown number. When he picks up, the mystery caller introduces themselves as none other than Daniel Levy, Tottenham Hotspur's chairman. Erik asks him, "What are you calling me about?" Levy says, "I'm calling to inquire about the availability of one of your players. Since we qualified for the Champions League and have new management, we want to invest in our squad, particularly in attack." This gets Ten Hag thinking. Which one of my players are you interested in signing? To which Levy responds, "Antony, and we're willing to pay handsomely for his services. I'm willing to offer you 90 million euros for him." Erik Ten Hag stops to think for a second. He knows that even though he just signed him last season for 95 million euros, the board would definitely be keen to sell him and get his wages and transfer fee off their books. So he reluctantly responds after a few seconds and says, "If you can pay that 90 million for him and he wants to join you, I will allow it." Before hanging up, Levy tells Ten Hag, "We'll be talking to the player later today, and you should be hearing back from us about it very soon. Best of luck this season. You're going to need it." After the following day's training, Antony approaches Ten Hag and says,
"Ei Gaffer, este clube simplesmente não é o lugar para mim. As instalações estão pouco batidas, e meio que engarrafamos o campeonato, apesar de ter feito uma grande época. Tire-me daqui."
"Mate, you do realize I don't speak Portuguese, right?" "Oh yeah, sorry boss.
Bruh.
Anyways, I want to go to Tottenham to play Champions League, so please accept the offer." Ten Hag is taken aback by how insistent Antony is, but he knows he's a great player that should be playing Champions League, even if it is a league rival. So he tells Antony, "I already talked to Daniel Levy, and I told him that if you want to go, we will let you go." Antony smiles and responds, "Thank you, boss. I hope you can understand why I want to go. See you in the league, yes?" He gives Ten Hag a hug, then hops in his Lamborghini and drives off the Carrington campus for what would be the last time. Now it's time for us to figure out how to spend our 75 million to fix this squad. I think our biggest problem last season, and it was a glaring weakness at that, was the fact that we did not have a striker to score goals. So I think 75 million euros should be used to find a striker. Now, of course, we can't afford the best of the best, your Harry Kanes, your Lautaro Martinez's, players like that. So I think Jonathan David, who has moved from Lille to Aston Villa and has a year of Premier League experience, would be an excellent signing. It was a hard bargain to get him for 48 million. And then we, of course, had to sit him down with his agent and talk about convincing himself, the player, to join our club. So we had to make sure that he understood that he was supposed to be an important player for us, of course, on a long-term deal. He is the future number 9 of Manchester United. A hefty wage, but also a release clause that we're going to need to be careful of going forward in this series. And he was actually convinced to join the side and help us try and fight for Champions League. And so, there you have it. Our 48 million euro striker, Jonathan David, enters the Carrington training ground, completes his medical, meets some of our players, our leadership in Casemiro and David De Gea, and holds up his new number 9 jersey. This is now the future of Manchester United, and with that, we're ready to start the season. Fans are expecting a huge season for us, of course. the goal is going to be qualification for the Champions League via finishing in the top 4. So Old Trafford getting prepared for the start of what should be a very, very interesting season. And we're going to be kicking off the first game of the season at home against none other than Tottenham Hotspur, a team full of storylines for us. We sold Antony to them, of course, and we wanted, of course, to sign Harry Kane too, and that did not end up happening. They finished in the top 4. They've got Eder Militao as well, and this game starts off just scrappy from the get-go. But before that, just look at the scenes at Old Trafford. The fans are here in droves. They are ready to see a successful season here, and Casemiro gonna have a hard job to keep Harry Kane quiet. Of course, everybody is gonna have a hard job keeping this guy quiet. Every team wants this man. He stayed at the Spuds. He's trying to break the Premier League goal scoring record, and he might actually just do that. He starts off with a goal against us, and 1 quickly becomes 2 as Antony scores against his former club. But of course, Marcus Rashford is not going to just quietly sit back and watch as his team loses 2-0 at home. So he's going to run through the entire Spurs team and score an amazing solo goal at Old Trafford to show that we are in here and we are going to fight this season. And that was not actually all. A rough challenge from Casemiro on a player gets him a yellow card, and that again shows our fight, our intention to fight till the very, very end. And in the second half, a match winner from, not quite, but almost a match winner from Amad Diallo, and then a mistake from Hugo Lloris sees Jonathan David score his first goal for Manchester United in his opening game at Old Trafford, which results in a very fun 2-2 draw to start off the season. And that is a good sign of us wanting to fight for that top 4 spot, like I said earlier. And we continue against Leeds at Elland Road. We famously lost in the Carabao Cup, I think quarterfinals on penalties to them last season. And this game, we wanted to show that Leeds are not going to get the better of us. But Jadon Sancho didn't start us off too well there, hitting the crossbar, of course. And Jonathan David, Marcus Rashford linking up so well here to press the ball up high, but not quite score a goal. And then Sancho, of course, setting up Jonathan David with the outside of the boot. A great finish from him. And that was not all. He had more to show in this game. Rashford playing him through. Boom. Finally a striker for these 2 wingers to bring service to and for us to score goals with. And a great, great 2-0 win. We finally have the momentum that we need to be able to get going in the Premier League with an excellent, excellent number 9. Now, 48 million is looking like it was very well spent after all. And you would have thought that maybe we needed some more improvements in like the midfield or our defense, but no. We had everything we needed already in this team, and now we've got an excellent number 9 on top of that. We continue our highlights with a visit from Jonathan David's former team. The man in form has scored plenty of goals to start off for us, and he starts off strong in this one as well, scoring right away. The pressure high up the pitch. Bruno Fernandes plays this ball through to him. He beats the keeper to it, but he doesn't quite score that second goal. And we're also going to take some time to showcase some excellent defending here. David De Gea and Terrell Malacia doing very well to keep us in that game. Marcus Rashford tries to beat the keeper at the near post. He actually does, but great reactions from him result in not quite scoring. And then, of course, Jonathan David continues to score. It's a brace for him, and could it potentially be a hat-trick against his former club? I think we all know the answer is yes. He does complete his hat trick. We might have fallen apart a bit at the back near the end of the game, though, except we almost scored this great goal with Scott McTominay. Good save, but in the end, it was a 3-1 victory. Jonathan David scores his first hat trick as a Manchester United player against his former club. Like I've said earlier, and like I will continue to say this season, actually, what a great signing Jonathan David is turning out to be for us. Our fortunes have completely turned around since he has joined the team. He is bagging those goals. We've been off to a good start so far this season, but this is our first true test of how serious we are about being in the top 4 this season, playing against Liverpool, who have gotten the better of us in every game we played against them last season. This is our chance to show, like I said, that we are not just some pushover team that are just going to beat the best of the rest. And no, we had to beat Liverpool to show how serious we were. This was a really, really aggressive game from the start, though. Van Dijk putting in an early challenge on our striker, Jonathan David. I think that kind of spooked him. And a yellow card for Van Dijk is just going to result in a very open game in the second half. Marcus Rashford, boom, a solo run, scores again. And yeah, the celebrations were great, but of course Liverpool are going to get back into it. Another solo run here from Rashford. It's getting to be pretty late in the game, and he is extremely tired. Got no legs on him, and instead of shooting, makes a weird decision to shoot on the turn like that. Didn't turn out too well, And then up the other end, Liverpool go and score what should have been a match winner, except for the fact that we don't believe in giving up. Our captain, Bruno Fernandes, scores a late equalizing goal at Anfield, and the scenes were absolutely nuts. And this was exactly the kind of result to show that we were serious about being involved, not just for the top 4, but maybe even the title. That title charge potentially starts to continue at the Molineux against Wolves. They are some random title challengers. I believe they were in the 2nd or 3rd spot at the time of this game, and Marcus Rashford off both posts and in a seriously really good start here. Rashford, a solo run again, but sweats it to David, and it is 2-0 against these title challengers. Maybe they really aren't as good as they thought they were. Lucky start to the season for them. Bruno Fernandes from range, edge of the box, shoots and scores, and Garnacho off the bench. Don't worry, we're playing our young prospects like Garnacho. He scores a 4th goal to put Molineux to sleep. That 4-0 win sees us continue our charge up the Premier League table for the title. Midway into the first half of this season, we have a huge game here once again against Chelsea to showcase that we are not here to mess around. We are here for the top 4. Have Chelsea potentially figured out what the heck they're doing after spending $600 million last season? We're gonna find out, and something I didn't mention too much earlier on was that we have been struggling with injuries, but that has not stopped our momentum, has not broken our steam. Jonathan David muscling past the entire Chelsea back line to score the only goal in this game, but the celebrations and the scenes in this one were absolutely nuts. They're pulling out the dance moves, wah, 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 right? They're doing that dance, and Jadon Sancho almost scores a second. It would have been a beautiful volley, but the 1-0 win was enough to see us go and beat Chelsea. The scenes, like I said, the team, their togetherness has been absolutely insane in this game. Marcus Rashford got injured in this one, though, and we're about to see just how bad it is. It's the same injury that has been given to most of our players this season. It's a broken toe. He's going to be out for 3 months, and that means that we are really not having a lot of wingers to play the rest of this season. So Barry Dunn, one of our youth academy players from last season, we're going to recall him, and we're going to promote Ricardo Gomes, a young Portuguese right winger, maybe the next Ronaldo. Those young wingers are going to potentially have a rather large role to play here for the rest of this, especially the first half of this season. We're coming up against Newcastle, another team that's challenging for the title. Alexander Isak, their top scorer, and the top scorer in the Premier League right now, and we needed a big performance here as well. Alejandro Garnacho scores almost a beautiful goal there. He almost scores it, but he scores this one, and he gets us a lead. In the second half, it's once again a solo run by Alejandro Garnacho. He's skilling, he's playing past everybody, and he's got the confidence to get forward and score some awesome goals. A nice highlight from our bench there, Donny van de Beek and Aaron Wan-Bissaka linking up to get us a 2-0 win against Newcastle United. And we head into December in a really good position. Trying to carry that momentum forward into this next game. We're in December now, the last month of the highlights here. Starting off against West Ham, we need to continue getting good results here if we want to see ourselves in the top 4 come January, and it starts with an outside of the box finish from Bruno Fernandes, potentially a beautiful volley there from Jonathan David, and yeah, we're just pelting them at this point. Second half, Eriksen going for the long shot was a beautiful attempt. Bruno Fernandes, we're just pelting him like I said, and in the end, it's Barry Dunn who scores on the rebound, the player that we recalled from loan, stepping up big time. This was a really nice 2-0 win. Another thing that happened in this one is another broken toe injury, this time for our young backup striker, Arthur Goodman. He has been good, haha, but yeah, he's out injured again, and also got knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the quarterfinals by Leicester, but that will not break our stride. 2 more games to go in these highlights. The first one is against our noisy neighbors, Manchester City. They just recently won the treble. They are obviously the team I support, so I'm really happy about that, but we need to beat them in this game. This is one of the first games of FIFA 23 I've ever played with active snow going down as we play it. Like, that's pretty fun, pretty cool to see. Their team looks pretty similar except for Cancelo and Grimaldo involved at fullback. Weird to see that Cancelo is still at the club, but of course Jonathan David is going to start the scoring in this one. This was a really nice build-up play by City. They were really good. They won that corner and scored from it. Erling Haaland completely unmarked. Don't know how that happened. Bruno Fernandes gets us what could potentially be a late winner if we can just hang on, because City, man, they are creating chance after chance after chance. We almost had a chance to score a third as well, but in the end, it is a 2-1 win for us, which is just absolutely incredible. We move on to the last game of these highlights here at home against Wolves. Earlier on in the season, they were title contenders. They've obviously fallen off a bit since then, but still this could be a huge game because with a good result here, we will be top of the Premier League come the end of the highlights. And we pelted them and pelted them and pelted them. It was a pretty good back and forth game, but in the end, a 0-0 draw. Not the best result, not the worst result. And with that, we are done with the highlights for the first half of Season 2 here. Let's take a look at the league table and finish off this episode. What's up, you guys? My face is back on your screen for the end of this video. Hopefully you've liked it so far. If you have, make sure to drop a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here so you don't miss out on the next episode, the next half of Season 2. But let's really quickly review what happened in the first half of the season here. We knew that a good result against Wolves in that last game would have put us top of the Premier League table. And even though we got a 0-0 draw, I can confirm that we are top of the Premier League on goal difference. Newcastle are trailing us by like this much, skin of our teeth sort of thing. And the Spuds are 2 points behind us, City 4 points behind us. Wolves, even though I said they dropped off, they are in the top 6. Chelsea and Liverpool making up the rest of those European places, and Arsenal all the way down in 10th. That is the other kind of shocking result. Another interesting thing is that Brighton are 17th in the league. Like I said earlier on in the highlights, we did go out in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup to Leicester City on penalties, but we did beat Southampton and Portsmouth on our way to those quarterfinals. So the semifinals look like that. Chelsea, Liverpool, Preston North End, and Leicester City. So one of the lesser popular teams, one of the lesser likely teams to be in a cup final, is going to be in a cup final this year. It's pretty cool. And earlier on in the season, and of course, we cannot end the episode without taking a look at the stats. Jonathan David currently leading our goal scoring with 11 goals and 3 assists. Bruno Fernandes is having a great season. Rashford, despite being injured, is doing very well. Garnacho, actually our 4th highest goal scorer, but Jadon Sancho is being a great creative outlet. He's actually got the most assists at the club with 7. So yeah, we're doing well. Offensively, defensively, we're top of the league. And we actually still have some money left to spend. We had a 75 million euro transfer budget, so we've got about 30 million euros that we could spend. And if there's one place I think we might want to try and spend that, it might be in that midfield. Christian Eriksen and Donny van de Beek have been doing well at this box-to-box midfield type of spot, but I don't know, man. I just think that maybe we could use a little bit more energy here. Another option is we could put Bruno Fernandes back to the box-to-box spot and bring in somebody that's a bit more attacking. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts on that. We've got 30 million euros that we could still spend to improve this squad, but we are looking like title challengers, which is awesome. And then as far as our injuries are concerned, we've got Marcus Rashford with a broken toe. He'll be back in 6 weeks. Amad Diallo will be back in 6 days. Arthur Goodman will still be out for a couple of months. And something interesting to note is that we have got some contracts expiring that we need to think about here. Axel Tuanzebe, I'm willing to let him go, even if it's on a free. Marcus Rashford, though, his contract is expiring in January, so potentially we could have an issue there. We need to definitely talk to him and try to renew his contract. Since we're challenging for the title, I don't think that'll be a problem, but we'll take care of that in the next episode. And then we've got Shola Shortier. I don't mind if his contract goes. And Victor Lindelof, not sure if we want to keep him around or not. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, 30 million to spend, some player contracts expiring, and we are challenging for the title, not just the top 4. We are looking pretty good to get the Champions League, but at this point, should we be changing our ambitions to the title? Maybe should we talk to the board about getting some more money in January? All of this is up for debate going into the next episode, the last half, the second half of Season 2. Will we get the Champions League? Will we get the Premier League title? Will we get the FA Cup? All of that left to find out. So again, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, show your support down below, and I will see you in way less time this time for episode 3 of the Manchester United career mode. I promise it will not take 2 months to get the next episode out. But yeah, like I said earlier, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and peace.